are jumping right in, and I've already applied my primer, and then I also applied my foundation before I started out on the eyes. And for my eyes, I am using the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer, just applying this all over my lid to ensure that my eyeshadow stays in place all day long. For my eyes, I'm going to be using the 35T palette from Morphe brushes, and first I'm going in with this kind of mauve-y taupe color. I'm applying this just into the crease with a big fluffy brush as a nice transition shade. I really love this shade right now. I've been using this with a lot of eye looks. For definition, I'm going in with this mid-tone purple and a Morphe 505 brush. This is from their Flawless collection. It's just a pointed blending brush. So I'm taking that directly into the crease and concentrating a lot of that pigment on the outer corner, and then slowly diffusing that in once we get into that inner corner. I don't want it to be too heavy there. And now I'm just taking a clean, fluffy blending brush and going around all of those edges, just making sure to blend everything out so we don't have any harsh lines. For the lid, I'm picking up this really beautiful shimmery taupe shade, and I'm just applying that with just an e.l.f. flat shader brush, applying that all over the lid, and making sure to go over where we did apply that darker purple on the outer corner, just so it blends really nicely. I lost the clip, but I am going in with that really dark purple in the palette and using this Morphe 506 brush. It's a little bit smaller than the first one we used, and I'm just doing a little bit more definition with that crease, and of course going back and blending one more time because you can never blend enough. Now I'm going in with my NYC Liquid Liner and doing my wing, and I didn't do anything too crazy, just a standard wing. You can take yours as far as you want. And then I'm also going to be tight lining my upper waterline, and I'm using one from TheBalm because I just love these eyeliners. They do not budge on my watery eyes. And now I'm just applying a little bit of mascara and prepping for false lashes. The ones that I used in this look are so gorgeous. They're super dramatic, but I'm kind of obsessed with them. And they are the Goddess Lashes from Koko, and then once I get those on, it's time to move on to the rest of the face. To cover up my horrendous dark circles, I'm going in with my Maybelline Age Rewind first in the shade Brightener to cancel all of that out. Then I'm going in with my MAC Prolongwear in NW15 to just help conceal everything and brighten up under my under eyes. So I'm applying that, and then I also went in with a L'Oreal concealer. This is like a brightener, and I'm just using this to highlight in the center of my face, just around my mouth, on the bridge of my nose, and a little bit in the center of my forehead. I'm using my Morphe G2 brush to blend out all that concealer. I've just been obsessed with using this instead of my beauty blender. Just blends everything out really seamlessly. To set my under eye concealer in place and make sure it doesn't budge, and also to help brighten, I'm using my Anastasia contour kit, and I mix the shades Banana and Vanilla together, and I'm just setting that with a Morphe brush. And then I'm going in with the shade Fawn and just bronzing up my skin, and I'm using my favorite brush for this. This is by Sigma. It's their F20 brush. I'm just going around my cheeks, along the forehead, and then also along my jawline to give my skin a little bit more warmth and make me look just not so pale. To contour, I'm going to go in with the shade Java in this Morphe 509 brush. I love this brush for a really precise contour. I'm going in the hollows of my cheeks, and then I also just take this around the sides of my chin to make it look a little bit more prominent. And now I am going in to contour my nose. I did go back to the shade Fawn because it has that really great gray undertone, and Java's just a little bit too warm for that. So I'm just taking this along the sides of my nose, and I also take it a little bit on the very tip of my nose. This just really helps to slim down my nose and also bring just a little bit more structure to the center of my face since we have so much going on the eyes. Now I'm just buffing all of those lines in so it doesn't look so harsh, and I'm using a Morphe 512 brush. A lot of you guys asked what this brush was, and I do love it for blending out a nose contour. I wanted to keep the blush really neutral, so I'm using Nude Toot from NYX, and I am obsessed with this blush right now. I just think it's so pretty. Surprise, surprise, I'm using my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Luminous Light to highlight, and I'm just taking this on a little Morphe brush and applying that on the very high points of my cheeks. Then I kind of just hug my eye and bring that up around my brow. Then I also take this on the bridge of my nose and just take a little bit on my ring finger and apply it to the very tip of my nose. And then I also took it on a flat shader brush to highlight on my eyes. I took that underneath the brow bone, and then I'm going to also use that for my inner corner highlight. But for now, I'm finishing up that lower lash line. Taking that same black eyeliner, I just applied that to my waterline, and then going in with this dark purple. This is the shade that I used in my outer corner, and I'm just applying this with a flat little tiny brush and just buffing that out all along that lower lash line to make it look really smoky. To blend it out even further, I'm using that same brush and I'm applying that same taupe shade that we used as our transition color, and I'm just buffing this out even further. And you can bring this down as far as you're comfortable with, but I just use this to make sure that everything looks nice and diffused. And then it's time to add some mascara to those lower lashes, and then like I said, I just went in with that Hourglass ambient lighting powder and highlighted my inner corners. I'm lining my lips with this lip liner from NYX. This is in the shade Nude Beige because I just wanted a little bit of definition. And then I'm going in with this new lipstick from Dark Cosmetics in the shade Underground. It is such a cool color, but I wanted a little bit of gloss. So I just applied one from TheBalm just in the center of my lips to give me a little bit of sheen. And then once you have that on, your look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!